Yeah, hello guys. Today we are going to discuss another important topic, which is NCERT 11. Okay, there are many questions coming from this lesson. Of course, it is a very simple and interesting topic. And life on the earth. Life on the earth. What are the kind of lives, either plants or animals, in the geographical area where the latitudinal changes? Okay, equatorial is different life, and tropical is different life, temperate is different life, and polar region also different life. So based on the changes of equatorial and temperate and like tropical, the latitude gradient decide the life structure. Of course, polar bear is size is very high. Of course, temperate and tropical bear is very low size. Such a plants, the trees and forest is different in different regions. So we are going to discuss. Okay, yeah. Life on the earth. Earth is the only planet know the support the life. The life exists a biosphere where lithosphere land, atmosphere air and hydrosphere water interact. Okay, the guys, biosphere is support the life. Biosphere is the support the life, where lithosphere the land, atmosphere air and hydrosphere water, they can interact with biosphere. They can interact with biosphere. Biosphere is very narrow zone. Biosphere is very narrow zone, and where all forms of life are found in this. It is highly diverse. Planets, animals and microorganisms, plants, animals and microorganisms and humans are exist in the biosphere. What is the question frame from this slide? Just look into here. Question: can you order increasing order of this, like known as support this order of areas like A, biosphere, B, like I can made it biosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere, C, lithosphere, D, atmosphere. This is the question, guys. They can ask you increasing order or decreasing order. They can ask you increasing order or decreasing order. Which one of the following is higher or lower? Okay. Can you increasing order of these areas: biosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere and atmosphere? Which one is narrow? Which one is high? Just a minute. Sorry guys, sorry. Yeah, just assume it. It is actually very narrow space as compared with this. Okay, biosphere is the first increasing order. Biosphere is number 1. Okay, like next what we can call lithosphere, guys. Lithosphere is number 2. Lithosphere is number 2. Third, hydrosphere. fourth atmosphere. This is increasing order. So question is looking like a very simple, but it can be analytical way, okay? It can consume your time. So in this way you have to be clear about the topic, okay? Biosphere is very narrow zone as compared with hydrosphere and lithosphere and atmosphere. Lithosphere is land. Land, of course, 29% on the earth. Hydrosphere 71% on the earth. Hydrosphere 71% on the earth. Lithosphere is 29% of the earth, okay? And atmosphere, it is huge, guys. It is huge. There is no scale. There is no scale to like measure the atmosphere, because of it is the huge scale in the Milky Way, okay? That is, of course, there are spheres are there in the atmosphere: troposphere, ionosphere, mesosphere, okay? There is a exosphere. Up to the exosphere there are spheres in the atmosphere. So it is very broader as compared with this. Biosphere is in the troposphere. In the troposphere, they can ask you another question: which one of the following spheres in the atmosphere support the biosphere? Troposphere only support the biosphere. Troposphere, okay? Stratosphere, ionosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. These are the layers in the atmosphere. These are the layers in the atmosphere. They can ask you which one of the zone is support the biosphere is troposphere, guys. Troposphere, they can support the like life, like biosphere is troposphere, okay? This is atmosphere. Atmosphere, such a layers: troposphere, stratosphere, ionosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. There are layers in the atmosphere. That can be troposphere support biosphere, okay? Yeah, this is what life on the earth. There are spheres on the earth, okay? Yeah. And if come to the biodiversity, okay? Biodiversity is what? Variety of life forms. Variety of life forms we can call biodiversity. That can be plants, animals and microorganisms. That can be plants, animals and microorganisms, okay? It is includes species diversity, genetic diversity and ecosystem diversity, okay? What is species diversity? What is genetic diversity? What is ecosystem diversity? Okay, guys, just look into here. All kind of actually species, either plants or animals. So plants, there is same kind of plants and there are variety of plants, okay? Variety of plants include the diversity. Diversification mean expand their community, different plant is the word is the only kingdom of all plant, okay? All plants comes under plant kingdom, okay? Plant kingdom is the diversified area, that is all plants come together into the plant kingdom, okay? Other animals. Genetic diversity is what? Mean genetic levels, their genes are different. Their genes are different. They can variant from one species to other species. Genetically they can variant, mean that is genetic diversity. Ecosystem is what? Ecosystem mean, of course, there are humans and animals, plants and other organisms like insects. These are the biotic factors. Biotic factors mean all life forms, either humans, animals, plants or insects, all life forms. And abiotic factors also there. Abiotic factors. Abiotic factors are water, okay, and air, okay, and there is water like air and other light, heat. These are the abiotic areas. Abiotic, okay. Biotic and abiotic together we can call ecosystem. They are all over in the area, supported themselves. Biotic factors depend on abiotic factors. Of course, we are depend on water and air. We are depend on hilly areas. We are depend on plants. Okay. So guys, they can interact each other irrespective of their speciality. Okay. They are interact abiotic factors, biotic factors together we can call ecosystem. Together we can call ecosystem. The biotic factors, abiotic factors, they are located in a particular area, particular system we can call ecosystem. Ecosystems are different types guys. Ecosystem, there are a lake ecosystem is there, lake ecosystem. Example, lake ecosystem. There are certain species in the lake, there are water plants are there in the lake, fishes there, and insects there, and light is there in the ecosystem, light for the photosynthesis, heat is there, okay, mud water is there, okay. This comes under lake ecosystem. There is no humans in this ecosystem. Lake ecosystem, there is no human being involved in the lake ecosystem. Lake ecosystem, particular lake, okay, the like abiotic and biotic factors within the lake called lake ecosystem, okay. Any tree ecosystem, if any plant, big tree is there, big tree is like any big tree, there are such a birds are depend on tree, okay. There are some insects depend on tree, that is the tree ecosystem. Biomass ecosystem, there are different type of ecosystems are there in the environment guys. This is ecosystem comes under biodiversity, okay. Importance of biodiversity, they can ask you some questions. Food, they can provide food, medicine, fuel and timber, okay. The land, this is important guys, this is the important for exam point of view. India biodiversity part is what? India is one of the mega biodiversity country. Mega biodiversity countries are 12 guys, 12 countries are there. India is the one of the mega diversity country, okay. It is contribute like with 2.4% land, okay. It is about mega diversity countries. India contribute 2.4 land, 2.4% of land only, but it can be contribute 7.8 diversity species. All records 7 to 8% of biodiversity is there in India. India is the one of the major mega diversity country, okay. It share only 2.4% of land, but it can be share the 7 to 8% diversified species are there in India, because of India is huge coastal area. India itself is huge hilly areas, plateaus and different islands. India located all kind of Ramsar sites, okay. These all over come together to give the 7 to 8% of diversified, okay. Yeah. Biomass, not mess, biomass, okay. What is biomass? Okay, biomes, it is biomes. Biomes is what? This is questions actually important guys. Biome is the large ecosystem. It is characterized by vegetation. Vegetation means there is a plant richness of plants we can call vegetation, and climate also associated with vegetation and animals. Okay, it is determined by mainly temperature and rainfall. Of course, if it is huge temperature, huge rainfall, okay, is it support for the life, either animals or plants? That is, the climate is extreme. Extreme condition of climate, there is no support for the life. Moderate climate, either temperature, rainfall, if it is moderate, mean mainly tropical area, Amazon forest is tropical area, India is the tropical area. Tropical area is the biodiversity rich area, guys. Okay, after equator, above the equator, below the equator, north or south, there is a tropical area. It can be support for the major biodiversity sites. Okay, India is the one of the tropical country. So there are different kind of biomes, that is forest biome, grassland biome, desert biome, and tundra biome, aquatic biome. Okay, these are the different type of biomes. Biomes nothing but it is about vegetation, it is about climate, it is about animals. Okay, this is about biomes. Okay, so if come to the forest biome, okay, forest biome, tropical evergreen forest, okay, tropical evergreen forest is there, tropical deciduous forest is there, temperate forest is there, taiga forest is there. Forest is 4 types, guys. Most important, they can ask you the question. Tropical evergreen forest is what? India has tropical evergreen forest. India have tropical deciduous, dry deciduous or wet deciduous have India. Temperate forest also have India. Taiga forest also there in India. Which part of the India has tropical evergreen forest, guys? Where there is a high temperature, high rainfall created tropical evergreen forest. High temperature, high rainfall created tropical evergreen forest. Got it? Mainly the Western Ghats, Eastern Himalayas are tropical evergreen forest, and Andaman Nicobar Islands also tropical evergreen forest. They can ask you which one of the region comes under the tropical evergreen forest. Okay, or else they can give you the area name and they can ask you forest type. Okay, tropical evergreen forest, it is hot and wet regions. They can ask you characters also. Which one of the character like hot and wet region comes under which forest, which type of forest, they can ask you, guys. Okay, yeah, this is difficulty. If they can ask the characters, it is difficulty to find, guys. So be careful. Tropical evergreen forest is hot and humid. Hot and wet region mean humid. Hot and humid is tropical evergreen forest. Okay, mainly Amazon, Congo, Western Ghats of India and Andamans of India. They can ask you, guys, analogical type, analogy. The which type of India area is connected to the Amazon forest or Congo forest, Western Ghats? I hope you know the Amazon forest. Guys, you have to go Google or ChatGPT, you have to go Amazon forest latitudinal area and what are the cities comes under Amazon forest, and which India is similar type of Amazon forest, which type of forest in India similar to Amazon forest or Congo forest. Okay, you can ask. So Western Ghat of India, Eastern Himalayas, Western Ghats, Eastern Eastern part of Himalayas, Eastern states, Eastern Himalayas, of course there is a Brahmaputra valley, Assam valley, and Western Ghats, Andaman Nicobar Islands are evergreen forest, tropical evergreen forest. The character of the tropical evergreen forest is hot and humid, guys, hot and humid. There is a huge rainfall, huge temperature, direct fall under this area. Okay, This is about tropical evergreen forest. Next, tropical deciduous forest. Tropical deciduous forest. I am talking about world geography and Indian geography together. Okay, most important biomes, mainly forest. Okay, yeah, if come to the India, deciduous, dry deciduous is there, wet deciduous is there. Okay, tropical dry deciduous and tropical wet deciduous. Deciduous mean they can shed their leaves during the winter season. Okay, yeah, and if come to the summer starting, they can again to form their new leaves. Okay, guys, just look into here. Tropical deciduous are what? Mainly plateaus area. Mainly plateaus area, India as tropical dry deciduous. Mainly arid region, semi-arid region. Okay, and wet deciduous is the plains. Indian plains are mostly middle Indian plains are mostly tropical wet deciduous. If come to the world, okay, it is actually monsoon type of climate. Monsoon type of climate. Which one of the following forest is relevant to the monsoon type? That is tropical deciduous forest. Tropics mean it is the monsoon based country, India. Okay, yep. So Central India, Myanmar, Africa. Central India, Myanmar, Africa, not all over Africa, the tropical country, tropical region of the Africa. Congo region, below the Congo, there is a sub-Saharan area, mostly tropical deciduous area, guys. Okay, if you go observe the map, world map, you can understand easily. Okay, yes. And temperate forest. Temperate mean it is the cool area. Guys, I am gonna tell you here, tropical evergreen forest, equator place. Tropical deciduous forest is like 5 to 30 degree latitude, 5 to 30 degree latitude, tropical deciduous. Temperate is latitude about 30 to 45, 30 to 45 is temperate, 30 to 45. Okay, taiga is above 45, okay, 45 degree latitude. Okay, taiga. Temperate, the world most beautiful places comes under temperate region. Okay, temperate region is cool area and not that much taiga and tundra. It is moderate climate, moderate cool climate, especially Europe, okay, northeastern USA and Himalayas. If come to the India, Himalayas, temperate region, Himalayas, most beautiful places in the world comes under temperate region. Okay, 30 to 45 degree latitude, 30 to 45 degree latitude. We can call it as Mediterranean area, okay, like Mediterranean climate. Mediterranean climate is the type of climate temperate. Okay, yep. And taiga is the coniferous forest. Coniferous means completely snow like area. Cold regions of Canada and Russia, they cannot support the highly rainfall or temperature here, taiga. Okay, these are the biomes of the forest. These are the biome of the forest. Guys, it is looking like a very easy chapter, but it is a difficulty to find the answer. Okay, yes. So if come to the grassland biomes, okay, forest biomes, I hope you understand. Okay, grassland biomes, tropical grassland, savanna, Africa, okay, Brazil and India. Okay, Guys, there is a different names of the grassland in the tropical, there is a different names of the temperate grassland in the all over world. Different names of the tropical grassland, different names of the temperate grassland in the what is pampas, what is prairies, what is steppes, what is compass. Compass is different, pampas is different, and steppes is different, prairies is different, downs is different. These are the names of the grassland all over world. Okay, they can ask you guys question. Okay, temperate grassland, prairies in USA, prairies are the temperate grassland, steppes in the Russia, pampas in Argentina, velds in South Africa. These names they can ask you. Tropical grassland, savanna, savanna and compass in Brazil, compass in Brazil. Yeah, I am going to write, okay, tropical grassland, okay, temperate grassland, okay, tropical grassland, savanna, savannas, India, they are located India, okay, just a minute, India, Africa, Brazil, Africa, Brazil. If Brazil, we can call compass, compass, Brazil. Guys, just look into here. Tropical grassland, savanna we can call in India, Africa. There is a name, savanna, tropical grassland name savanna, India and Africa. If compass, not pampas, pampas is temperate grassland, compass are the tropical grassland in the Brazil, Brazil and Argentina. Guys, this is the previous year question, guys. Most of the people, they knows pampas only, most of the people they did ask pampas because of they mention pampas in every textbook, but they did not mention compass in every textbook. That is the question they did ask. Tropical grassland in the Brazil called compass. They did ask previous year question, but we cannot find this word in any textbook. We can find pampas, we can find. Okay, temperate grassland. Temperate grassland, different regions like USA, America, Australia, okay, Argentina, and wait, USA, step is Russia, Argentina, South Africa. USA prairies, USA prairies, this is prairies, USA. Australia downs, Argentina pampas, Africa velds. These are the temperate grassland names. Another name of temperate grassland, guys, they can ask you in the exam, sure. Guys, they can ask you in the exam, sure, this. Okay, yeah, you have to be write it, and they might ask you these grassland names. Don't confuse, temperate grassland is different, tropical grassland is different. Tropical grassland, the equatorial above 5-degree latitude to 30-degree latitude, and temperate is 30 to 45-degree latitude. Temperate is 30 to 45-degree latitude area of the geographical. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay, yes. If come to the desert biomes, okay, grassland biomes we know, desert biomes are hot desert and cold desert. This is important. They mention the desert name and hot or cold. Okay, which one of the following is cold desert? They did ask Gobi desert of China is cold desert, and America Atacama desert is the cold desert. Peru, Chile, Patagonia desert is the cold desert. Okay, India Thar desert, Arabian desert, and there are African Sahara desert are hot deserts. Guys, they can ask you the names also. Deserts are Sahara, Thar and Atacama. Atacama also hot desert. Sahara, Thar, Atacama deserts are the hot desert, and Gobi, Ladakh is Patagonia also. Patagonia of South America. Okay, Chile area, Patagonia, Gobi and Ladakh is cold deserts, guys, cold deserts. So hot deserts and cold deserts, this is important. They can ask you which one of the following is hot desert: Sahara, Thar and Atacama. Atacama, USA, guys, USA. Okay, Sahara deserts, you know, Africa. Okay, Africa. Thar, India. Okay, Arabian deserts also hot. Arabian, Saudi Arabia like countries, Middle Asia countries. Middle Asia countries also hot deserts, guys. Okay, yes. And tundra biome. Tundra biome mean there is a extreme cold area. Russia, there is a polar area above 60, okay, above 60-degree latitude, okay, yeah, extremely cold, okay, very short growing season, found in Arctic, Greenland and northern Canada and Siberia. Okay, yeah. Aquatic biomes, marine oceans, seas, coral reef and estuaries are aquatic. This is about biomes, guys, most important. They can ask you grasslands, they can ask you forest type, they can ask you desert type, forest types and grassland type. Okay, yes. Okay, yes. Next, ecosystem. The functional unit where living organisms, biotic and interact with non-living organism, abiotic. I told you. Okay, biotic factors: producers, plants, consumers, herbivores, carnivores and omnivores, and decomposers like fungi and bacteria. Abiotic factors: soil, water, air, temperature and minerals. Abiotic. Okay, yes. And ecosystem process: energy flow ecosystem, food chain ecosystem, food web and nutrient cycle, ecological pyramids. Of course, non-science background, it is thoda difficult, okay, but it is a generalized topic where the ecosystem we observed in our daily life. Okay, yes. In that way you have to read the daily life, what we can interact with water. There is a lakes we can observe, there are different kind of plants and animals, there is an interaction between them and there is a relation between their needs. Okay, we can observe energy flow. We know the sun, there is a energy is coming from sun, plants can use the sun, okay, they can make the food, and herbivores mean they can eat plants. Plants can utilize sunrise, okay, utilize sun, and they can produce food and herbivores depend on plants. Herbivores mean only they can eat plants, and carnivores they can eat herbivores. Of course, goat can eat plant. Okay, carnivores mean tiger can eat goat. Okay, yeah, like that. Food chain and food web is different. Food chain and food web is different. That is the difficulty to understand, guys. They did not mention in the NCERT that much deep. Okay, nutrient cycle, carbon cycle is there, nitrogen cycle is there, and water cycle is there. Ecological pyramids and pyramid numbers and biomass and energy pyramids also there. We are going to discuss if it is need. Okay, it is difficulty and it can be lengthy to discuss all the things. Okay, just you have to remember ecosystem or what. These are the different kind of ecosystems. Okay, yes. Ecological balance, human impact. The life on the earth exists due to the balance among the natural components. Human activities like deforestation, mining, industrialization and pollution, climate change. These are the reason for the ecological balance. Human can affect such activities. Okay, it is leads to habitat destruction and extinction of species, global warming and ozone depletion and desertification and soil erosion. These are the effects. These are the effects from the humans. Human impact. Human impact created these losses of ecosystem. They can ask you in the exam. They can ask you in the exam, sure. Habitat destruction means there is no life to exist a particular area, especially desert. If you cut down all the trees, that one day after long years, one day there is a area to become a desert, they cannot support the life. In that way, we can call it as habitat destruction. And extinction of species. Extinction of species mean if any different species like our national animal, national bird, okay, peacock is there. If everybody hunting the peacock, that is leads to the their population decline. Finally, there is a day there is no peacocks in the earth. So such a activity, extinction of species. Likewise, global warming and ozone depletion. Global warming mean if you all cut the trees, there is no oxygen, there is a production of carbon dioxide every time, that leads to that increase the temperature on the earth surface. Okay, they can hold the heat waves, the molecule of carbon dioxide. It is a high weight molecule of gases, carbon dioxide. They can hold the sun rays and that leads to the heat this earth surface, that leads to the global warming and ozone depletion. If the UV rays coming from earth, like sun to earth, there is a layer in the stratosphere. The ozone layer located in the stratosphere, that can be damaged. If it is damaged, UV lights enter into the human, okay, on the earth surface, that leads to the give the cancers, guys. Desertification and soil erosion. Okay, these are the activities took place where the human activities leads to the high extinction. Okay, yeah, I hope you guys understand this. And conservation of biodiversity. Conservation mean to conserve, mean protect or preserve or secure. Like in that way, you have to protect something, ecological activities like ecosystem you can protect, and you can preserve for the next generation, or else you can increase the system. That is conservation, guys. Okay, why conservation need? It is maintain ecological balance and it protect endangered species for sustainable use of resources. Just look into here, guys. If any tiger is there, if we protect the tiger, that is the tiger is the particular place in the ecosystem. In the ecosystem, tiger has a particular place. Mean tiger has secondary carnivores, secondary consumer. First producers are the plants. Producers plant is the producer. plant eat goat, right? Goat can eat plant. This is primary consumer. Primary consumer. If tiger is eat goat, right? Tiger. Secondary consumer. And there is a eagle like birds is tertiary consumer. Tertiary consumer. Okay. So this is the place 1. Guys, listen carefully. Ecological balance is what? This is the place 1. This is the place 2. Okay. This is the place 3 in the ecosystem. This is the place 4. Eagle is the place 4 in the ecosystem final. Okay. If you damage this place 2, mean if place 3, if it is damaged this place 3, mean there is no tiger. If you don't conserve the tiger, if no tiger conserve, if no tiger conservation, if no tiger conservation here, this a particular place, the carnivore, secondary consumer, tiger population declined completely in the ecosystem. What happened? The goat population increase, this population increase. If it is goat population increase, they can eat more plants, plant decline. If it is, this is increase, this can be decrease. There is a balance is destruction. There is a ecological balance. They cannot maintain until and unless we can preserve all the things. Every stage is important. Every stage is important. If it is goat is not there, tiger cannot live. So in the ecosystem, every stage is the balanced. Every stage is the balanced. That's why we need conservation of biodiversity. Conservation of biodiversity. Obviously, they don't know, most other people, why tigers need, why other plants or animals need. Everything is important, what they origin naturally on this earth. Any plant or animal, any system naturally they can exist is important for any ecological balance. Without human interference or human made, without human made, human interference, everything is important. By naturally growing, what happened? Like guys, if you like artificial intelligence, robot technology, what they can do? They cannot balance the ecology. They cannot reduce the heat wave. They cannot reduce. They cannot reduce the ocean. Like there is a every day there is a increasing of ocean, like coastal areas. That is the emerging coastal cities are emerging in the coming 2030, 2040. Even Mumbai is also going to be disappear after 2050. This is the way. There is a global warming. Global warming is take a key role. There is no artificial intelligence to secure that global warming until and unless we can conserve the human, like conservation of biodiversity or any ecosystem. If you don't conserve the ecosystem, you don't preserve the ecosystem, there is a balance can be imbalance. Okay? Yes. To maintain ecological balance, to protect endangered species, this is the endangered species, the population decline of tiger. Okay? Sustainable use of resources. Why conservation of biodiversity? Why conservation? Conservation means to maintain the ecological balance, to protect endangered species, to sustain use of resources. Okay? Yeah, conservation methods are what? This is also important conservation method. Why conservation? What are the methods? Okay? In situ conservation, ex situ conservation. In situ conservation, ex situ conservation. Guys, just look into here. There are zoo park. Zoo park is there, and there are certain institution like CCMB is there. Okay? Zoo park, Nehru Zoo Park is there in the Hyderabad. Example, Nehru Zoo Park is there in the Hyderabad, and Nehru Zoo Park in Hyderabad. Example, in-situ ex-situ conservation I am telling, and there is a CCMB is there in Hyderabad. Center for Cellular Molecular Biology. Center for Cellular Molecular Biology. Nehru Zoological Park, Hyderabad, what they can do? They can protect species. Protect species. Like there are many animals are there, plenty of type of animals are there in the Nehru Zoological Park. Okay, they can increase their population by naturally. They can increase their population naturally. Okay, that is also conservation. By naturally there is a conservation. Zoo is the natural conservation. Conservation. Natural conservation. No need of technology here. Okay. If come to the CCMB, it is the lab. It is the lab. There is a production of species. Production of species who are going to be extinct. Mean they can take, there is a DNA sample and there is a like gametes from that any species. Okay, we have to take that DNA or gametes, they can like produce animals artificially, by artificial, okay, yeah. So what is here, this is also conservation, this is also conservation. This is also conservation. So conservation types, in-situ conservation is there, ex-situ conservation is there. Zoo is what kind of conservation, lab is what kind of conservation. Okay, we are going to discuss in-situ conservation within the natural habitat. Within the natural habitat, mean zoo is the in-situ conservation. In-situ conservation. Zoo is the in-situ conservation. Lab is the ex-situ conservation. Ex-situ conservation is lab. I hope you guys understand. Okay. Within the natural habit, biosphere reserves or national parks or wildlife sanctuaries are in-situ conservation. Of course, they did give Jim Corbett National Park and Sundarban Kaziranga National Park. They can give you any national park name in India or all world. They give you the national parks or zoos, like different kind of zoo and wildlife sanctuaries. Naturally, they can habituate and they can grow their population, called in-situ conservation. Ex-situ conservation mean lab, botanical gardens, zoos, sorry. Zoos is the ex-situ conservation, seed banks obviously ex-situ conservation, and gene banks ex-situ conservation. Zoos are not actually ex-situ guys, zoos are in-situ conservation. Of course, naturally grown, right? Botanical gardens, not. Okay. Example of National Gene Bank India. Gene banks are labs or ex-situ conservation. Okay. I hope you guys understand in-situ and ex-situ. In-situ mean there is a naturally grown their population in-situ. Ex-situ mean there is a in the lab. In the lab we can like give them population, we can give them produce, we can produce the different species by artificially. Mean there is a dolly sheep is developed by our CCMB scientists. Okay, that is ex-situ conservation. Okay, yes. Yeah. International efforts. Okay, yeah. CITES, IUCN and Rio Earth Summit. This is important, guys. This is important. What is CITES? What is IUCN? What is Rio Earth Summit? This is the most important. I am going to again, actually my video is there. If you want, guys, again I am going to take a video from this 3. Most important, there is a must question from this. There is a sure question from this. CITES mean Conservation, International Trade and Endangered Species. Sir, Convention on International Trade and Endangered Species. Of course, some species are medicinally important. Medicinal properties are there in the some species. Some species are, they can passionate some countries. They can export and import without borders. In that way, there is a convention on the endangered species, international border endangered species. There is a convention called CITES, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. Okay. IUCN Red List. There is a population decline rapidly. Some species, their species are population going to be end. Some species are not there even on the earth. So this is the categorize such a species based on their population, based on their importance. That is IUCN Red List. IUCN means International Union of Nature, Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. IUCN means International Union of Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. That can be conserve nature and natural resources. Natural resources nothing but that is species, plant species, animal species and heritage sites. Okay, that is IUCN, guys. Endangered species list that can release endangered species, critically endangered species, vulnerable species, near threatened species and extinct species. 6 type of categories they can list out, guys. That is we can call IUCN Red Data List. We are going to discuss a separate class on IUCN Red Data Book. This is important. There may be a question. Make sure. Okay. Rio Earth Summit 1992. Rio Earth Summit. This is the historical event relevant to the biodiversity, relevant to the climate, relevant to the pollution. This is the main thing. Earth Summit 1992. Convention on Biological Diversity is the one of the activity in the Earth Summit and climate change also. Okay. Rio Earth Summit. Rio means it is the place of Brazil. It is the place of Brazil. Okay. There is a 3 convention 1992 Rio Earth Summit. There are 3 conventions are there. One is CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD. Second one is there is a UNFCCC, second convention. Third convention is Agenda 21, Rio Earth Summit. Okay. CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity, there are 2 protocols are there. Convention is different, protocol is different. Okay. Convention give accept the general acceptance principle, give the convention. Protocol is the general agreement between the countries. Protocol is the agreement, convention is the generally accepted principles. The guidelines which is the group of countries give the general acceptance principle is the convention. The people, the agreement signed, the countries, group of countries, if they signed the agreement based on their targets, that is protocol. Okay, CBD, there is a 2 protocols are there, Convention on Biodiversity, CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD. There are 2 protocols. One is Cartagena Protocol. Cartagena Protocol. Second one is Nagoya Protocol. Nagoya Protocol. UNFCCC, Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol, United Nations Framework for Climate Convention on Climate Change. Okay, this is Kyoto Protocol. And Agenda 21, this is about the Sustainable Development Goals. Guys, they can ask you in the exam, Rio Earth Summit mainly because they can ask you convention, they can ask you 3 conventions are took place in the Rio Earth Summit. That is CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity, UNFCCC, United Nations Framework for Convention on Climate Change, and Agenda 21. These are the agendas mainly described in Rio Earth Summit 1992. So, if come to the Convention on Biological Diversity, there are 2 protocols, guys. I am going to explain later on classes, that is Cartagena Protocol and Nagoya Protocol. Cartagena Protocol, Nagoya Protocol mainly for the Convention on Biological Diversity, and UNFCCC, United Nations Framework for Convention on Climate Change, is Kyoto Protocol. And Agenda 21 is mainly about Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals. Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals, guys. You have to be confirm 17 goals in fingertips, because of there is a question from Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, yeah, it is important, guys. You have to be listen. I am going to explain a day. Sure, make sure I am going to explain Rio Earth Summit and major conventions, major protocols. Actually, I did made a video, you have to come across. If not, I am going to explain again. Give me comment section how many people want. Okay, yes. And Indian efforts about the conservation of biodiversity, Wildlife Protection Act 1992. Mainly they can ask you years, guys. They can ask you years. One side match the following questions, they can ask you years. One side years and one side protocols names or act names. Okay, Wildlife Protection Acts 1992 and Project Tiger 1973. Okay, Biodiversity Act 2002. Biodiversity Environmental Protection Act is there. Water Pollution Act is there. Okay, Air Pollution Act is there. Okay, there are different acts are there in India, guys. Okay, so that is also important for coming exams, guys. Wildlife Protection Act 1972 and Project Tiger 73, Project Elephant is there, Project Rhinos are there. Okay, yeah, like Project Gangetic Dolphin also there, guys. Okay, Gangetic Dolphin is the water animal, national water animal. Okay, yes. Biodiversity Act 2002, most important Biodiversity Act. After this 1992 2002, after 10 years Biodiversity Act took place in India. Okay, yes, I hope you guys understand this, the Convention on Biodiversity. Convention of Biodiversity internationally cites IUCN and Rio Earth Summit. If come to the India Wildlife Protection Act, Project Tiger and Biodiversity Act. Okay, yes. Yeah, key notes for exams. Biosphere is what? Biome is the what? Endemic species, hotspot and keystone species. These are the most important terms. Sometimes they can ask you in the exams, don't confuse. Biosphere is zone of life on the earth. Biome is large natural ecosystem with a distinct vegetation and animals, biomes. Endemic species means species found only in one region, Yeah, you come across the word pandemic, you come across the word endemic. Okay, if the disease or any species come to that locality, that is endemic. If the disease or any species come to all over globally, we can observe that is pandemic. Corona is the disease pandemic because it is spreaded all over world, right? That is pandemic. TB is the disease, tuberculosis. It is the tropical disease. It is the tropical disease. It is the endemic disease. Only India is the one of the TB hub. India is the one of the TB hub. In the world, most of the 80% TB cases are there in India only. All over tropical countries, include African countries. Africa also tropical countries are there. South America also tropical countries are there. East Asia also tropical countries are there. Middle East also tropical countries are there. India is the tropical country. India is the 80% TB cases are there in India. Okay, this is the endemic, only tropical area. Not, I am telling corona is the worldwide. Of course, TB is also worldwide where the tropical country located. Tropical disease, TB is the tropical disease, that is endemic. Of course, it is all over world we can observe, but only tropical countries, that is called in a particular region, particular place, that is the tropical, that is endemic. So, endemic is only region wise. Example, Nilagiri tar. Nilagiri tar is the animal that is located in only Nilagiri tar, only that place. Nilagiri tar means in the Himalayas. Himalayas is the only place they can habituated the Nilagiri tar. This is the endemic species. Hotspots, region with rich biodiversity under threat. That is, India has biodiversity hotspots, 4 biodiversity hotspots. Most important, guys, there is a question coming from. How many hotspots are there in India? 4 hotspots. Previously it is 2, actually they mention it is the 4 right now. Okay, Himalayas is the one hotspot. Biodiversity hotspots in India, how many? Himalayas, Indo-Burma, Indo-Malaysian and Western Ghats. Indo-Malaysian mean northeastern states, okay, and eastern Himalayas, okay. Indo-Burma is eastern Himalayas, and Himalayas particularly Western Himalayas and Western Ghats, okay. These are the biodiversity hotspot. How many? 4 biodiversity hotspots. They can ask you how many biodiversity hotspots are there in India? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 biodiversity hotspots. Okay. Himalayas are Indo-Burma and Indo-Malaysia and Western Ghats. Okay. Yes. Malayan, not Malaysia. Malayan means there is a like Arunachal Pradesh area. Okay. Keystone species that maintain ecosystem balanced. Tiger and forest. Tiger in forest. Of course, if there is no tiger, who can protect the forest? Because of tiger is the keystone species for protect the forest, of course. Okay. I hope you guys understand this. Okay. Yeah. Guys, I am going to teach you this class in the continue tomorrow. Okay. 3:30 there is another class you have to be attend. Thank you.